some of these dialects are really like relics of ancient usages, but unfortunately most of them are completely discarded by current standard languages. So as far as the northern Russian dialect, those are usually spoken along the river Volga, from north down to the south, and typically these dialects pronounce a sound O very clearly, which is called okanya. And in the southern Russian dialects, unstressed ye and followed by a is not pronounced as e as it's supposed to. It's pronounced as an a, and therefore it's pronounced as a ya. It's a little bit complicated to explain right now, because you need to go a little bit deeper into the Russian language to properly explain it. And it's called yakanya, and it's used in some forms of the sentences. So we'll leave it there. So there are two dialects, major dialects. As far as some history behind Russian language, judging by historical records, by approximately 1000 AD, the predominant ethnic group of the most European Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus nowadays have been speaking a relatively close kind of a dialect to Russian language, so that it takes place a long time ago. Then it has been adopted by Christianity, and firstly started in times of Kievan Rus. It has been commercialized into a native commercial language back then in 988, but then the languages started to have differentiations in them after the breakup of the Kievan Rus, which took place in 1100s, and therefore our languages split into parts, two separate ones. So as far as for numberings, we're gonna zoom you in a little bit just to show you a little bit more up close. Numbers, I hope you can see them all. Okay, so I'm gonna learn how to say numbers from 1 to 10 today. So right now I have only 5, and I will include the other 5 later. Let's start with the first one. Let me just read it to you. It's 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3, 4 is 4, 5 is 5, 6 is 6, 7 is 7, 8 is 8, 9 is 9, and 10 is 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's write it first in Russian. I'm going to write this type of a D letter sound there because it's a little bit easier. Usually you would write it a little bit differently, but just for you to understand it better for now, I'll write it this way. And this is in Russian I'm writing right now. 1. I would like to explain to you right away what I'm going to be doing. Today I will try to teach you how to say these words and sentences easier in English without complicating them into transcriptions like I did in the last video. I will try to use a form of a translate instead of a transcription. So, in translate, you would write it this way. 1. Here is a trick. In this whole video, and the next one as well, will hear me say adin, pronouncing this sound as not an O, but as an A. That is due to this portion of the word to be stressed. So this is the letter that is stressed in the word. Therefore, this letter, unstressed, becomes the sound A. So, adin. This one is 2, 5. Write it this way. 2. And translate, you would write it as this. 2. 3 is very close to American pronunciation or in many other languages as well. And that would be 3. This is a Russian version. 3. And translate, you would write it as this. 3. Very simple. 1, 2, 3. 4 would be 4. It's a little bit more complicated. Oh, let me write it first in English, in Russian first. Okay. Okay. 4. And translate, you will write it as such. 4. 3. 4. Let's pronounce it together. 4. Okay. And number 5 will be 5. Which is in translate written in the following way. Now here's a trick. Do you see how I wrote down pet? You could try and pronounce it as a pat, probably with the sharp T in the end, but because in this case we're using a soft sign, which in Russian language softens the letter standing in front of it. Therefore, it creates a softer version of a t sound, t in this word. So, it will be not pet, but pet. So, I would write an extra sound here. You will not usually write it down, but when you pronounce it, you would try and put it in the word, so it's going to be pronounced properly. So it's pets, pets. Okay, and I read it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Now we're going to go to the rest of the numbers. Let me just wipe off the deck. I hope it's easy for you to understand it at this point. Russian is a pretty complicated language, but everything is doable, right? Okay, so numbers from 6 to 10. 6 or 6. 10 or 10. 6. Again, you see the soft sign in the end? That will soften the sound too, in this case. So, it will be written this way in translate. Shakes. But again, remember that when you're pronouncing it, you will be pronouncing it softer.